Hello, I'm Special Agent Rashid Wardeh. As many of you already know, the Mexican cartel is one of the most powerful cartels on the planet and are responsible for a large portion of the cocaine, amongst other drugs, that enter the United States. As well as supplying the US with drugs, the Mexican cartel is largely to blame for the majority of crimes faced in Mexico. For people raising families or trying to lead innocent lives, being surrounded by criminal activity can be quite distressing and can have a serious negative impact on mental health and mental well being. Throughout this video, I'll be discussing these criminal activities and the ways in which they will affect the quality of life and mental well being of the Mexican people. In 2019 alone, there were 34,582 murders in Mexico, many of which can be directly linked to the cartel. A lot of these murders may be linked to the war on drugs, whereas others are results of other organized crime, which is also conducted by the cartel, of course. This means that in 2019, Mexico experienced an average of 95 murders a day, which is an alarmingly high rate. The fact that murder is taking place at such a high rate can directly impact people's mental well being, as a lot of people may be living in a constant state of paranoia or would not feel safe walking their own streets. And as for teenagers and children, witnessing and being affected by such events can be quite traumatic. As well as causing trauma in their early years, being around such incidents from a young age can impact these people for the rest of their lives and can completely alter the path that they take, as they can be influenced by what they're surrounded by. Also, the Mexican drug cartel heavily dominates the illicit drug market, having major control over many drug operations. At one point in time, the Mexican cartel was responsible for 90% of all of the cocaine entering the United States. The fact that such large amounts of drugs are being manufactured and held within the country means that there's a very high supply of these exact same drugs available to the Mexican people. As a result, incidents of drug abuse and drug addiction in Mexico amongst both adults and the youth have increased. Over the last several years, cases of drug usage and addiction have significantly increased in Mexico and are continuing to increase. It's impossible to argue that the cartel is not directly accountable for the rapid increase of drug addiction within Mexico, as they are the ones who are responsible for bringing the drugs in the first place.